Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back, and I hope all is well with you guys. We are continuing our journey into the world of malware. We are in the still in the first section, and this is episode 5. In this episode, we are going to gain knowledge about basic knowledge about malware functionality and its component. As always, I will mention that my English is not good, but if you have difficulty to understand, you can put your question in writing either in the commenting area or send it to me directly via the contact link that is in the description of this video. Otherwise, are you ready? Here we go. So, malware functionality, which is the topic of this episode. The first step The first step for malware is infiltration. The first step is to infiltrate. The first step is to infiltrate. Infiltrate the target device by exploiting vulnerability which can be in software. To infiltrate by exploiting exploiting vulnerabilities. I cannot pronounce these words correctly. And you may ask, which are these vulnerabilities we have mentioned? It can be in software that the attacker may have found some vulnerability there. It can be in hardware, and it can be the user behavior. User behavior. By using one of these weaknesses or all of them or combination of them, some of them, or some new method that we don't know yet, because the attacker, as I mentioned before, they have imagination and brain. They can use their imagination to find new method. So this is the first step, infiltrate, and they will achieve this by exploiting vulnerabilities. Which kind of those? It can be in the software, hardware, or user behavior, or some new one. So that is the first step. After they have succeeded in the first step, once the infiltration is complete, then depends on again which kind of malware we are talking about, which we'll talk about in the section 2. Then the malware began executing its malicious task that the attacker wants to do. Malicious task without the user knowledge or consent. User's knowledge, we can write like consent or knowledge. Okay, so that the first step was to infiltrate the target system. It can do that by many different variety method, and to use or exploit the vulnerability in the target system to their advantage. It can be any software, hardware, or user behavior, or some new method that they can find. After the first step is done, then again we go to second step. In the second step, first of all, it depends on which type of software malware we are talking about. Then the malware begins executing its malicious task without here the user didn't permit it, or even by consenting it, or uh, it, the most of the malware they will achieve, for example, try to not being detected while doing the task that the attacker wants them to do. So then we will talk about after we first step and second step is done. Yeah, that's basically how the malware is work and function. But it is helpful also to mention which component malware may have. Okay, again, it depends on which kind of malware we are talking about, but in general, malware typically consists of the following components. It have a payload, it have a vectors, and obfuscation techniques or concealment techniques. And you may ask, what is payload? The payload is the part the part of the part of the malware that perform the malicious action, or it is the part that will cause damage. So then we have vector. What it is the delivery method that will help the payload to reach the target. The delivery, I forgot how to write that one. I am not sure, my English will getting worse day by day. I thought it will get better, but that is not the case. The delivery methods that will help the payload to reach target methods. That is frustrating, right? Ha, my English. I am impressed by myself instead of improving in English, but it's getting worse. Okay. The delivery methods used used to spread the malware. That is the function of the vectors. It will help the payload to reach the target. Okay. Then a malware has also obfuscation technique or concealment techniques, and you may ask, what is this for? It is for to avoid detection methods to avoid detection we will mention some common at the end of the section, some common obfuscation techniques that the malware designer will use. Detection, but that are the those are the common ones. The malware designer may use the whole new technique that we don't know about it yet, because their goal is to avoid being detected by the security team or defense team. Okay, we can use a good analogy here. After we talked about the component of the malware, payload, vectors, and obfuscation technique. The analogy is, think about an advanced rocket projectile. What it has a motor, right? This is similar to vectors. What is the motor job? It is to deliver the warhead. Warhead. It is D, not H. Wow, I'm very impressed right now. So, the rocket projectile, if you are talking about the major one, it has a motor, okay? The motor job is to deliver the warhead to the target, okay? The warhead is similar to our payload. It is the warhead that will cause the damage. Then it has stealth technology. The job of stealth technology is it is similar to, first of all, it is a evasion technique or obfuscation technique that are being used in the malware. The job of stealth technology is to avoid being intercepted or detected or being discovered by the security team or measure. But in the rocket case, it is to avoid being intercepted. Then it has command and control, those who are launching it, or the launcher. In our case, it is the attacker who is the launcher for the malware who initiate the attack. Then finally, if we sum it up, regardless of the types of malware, they all have this key component: payload, vector, and obfuscation technique. Obfuscation technique and command and control. Okay, regardless, put it writing, it was not a good idea to write it down, right? Regardless which type of the malware we are talking about, regardless of the malware, now regardless of the type, why regardless of the type of malware, they all have these key components like payload, vector, which is the delivery, then obfuscation technique, it is to avoid being detected, obfuscation. At the end of this section, we'll talk about some common one. Obfuscation technique, and command and control. They also have command and control, which is the attacker itself. Command and control mechanism. The specific behavior, how each and every one of this component is designed and work, and which functionality they have. The specific behavior, the specific I forgot how to write the specific. The specific behavior behavior of this components depend depends on the type of malware itself, the type of malware, which type of malware we are talking about. Okay, so all of the malware have this key component. They have payload, they have vector, they have obfuscation techniques, then they have also command and control. But the specific nature that goes into each one of these components, how they are designed, how they are functioning, it depends on which type of malware we are talking about. So I hope you have gained some knowledge and received a satisfactory answer to this question, malware functionalities, which we started here, malware functionalities. If you have any question up until now, you can put it in the writing, either in the commenting below, or send it to me directly via contact link that is in the description of this video. Then I will try my best and as soon as possible put the answer in writing, and hopefully you will receive your answer that way. In the next coming up we are going to talk about, again, we are still in the world of malware, first section, episode 6, which will be malware classification. Okay, so we will mention very common malware classification. So if you do not have any question up until now, then have a nice day. Bye.